Hello, everyone. Yes, I am not muted. Welcome back to some more Legacy of the Ancients. In the last episode, we finally made it out to the Pirate's Lair, finding a topaz coin, or being offered one, from one of the merchants, and we were successful at exploring the dungeon. Off screen. Unfortunately, my OBS stopped recording the moment I entered the dungeon. I didn't notice, and that's a shame. When I walked out of it, I managed to acquire a compass. Here it is. As you can see, selected as number 3. Well, we don't have it selected, but we picked it up from the dungeon. I barely... Ooh, what the heck is going on? I barely managed to get out of the dungeon alive with about 73 hit points and made it back to Eagle Hollow, healed up, went back to the museum, leveled up, ended the episode only to realize that at some point OBS stopped recording. We came back online, went in the dungeon, and died in there when I attempted to redo what I had done before. Dungeons are difficult, they are unforgiving, and if you don't walk in there without some healing herbs, the odds of you dying are greater than I would normally, than anyone would like them to be. So, I have reloaded the game, in so much that I reloaded the only save that we have on the save disk, and brought us back outside the dungeon so that death would not occur. We're going to talk briefly about what death means in this game, because we saw it happen to me for the first time ever on screen, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do now. When you die in the game, as you saw, you are effectively respawned with 200 hit points, maybe more, I can't remember, almost no food, we had 40 days, and a tiny bit of money to help you start out. The museum resurrects you. It will always do this, to my knowledge, wherever and whenever that you die, with the possible exception, potentially, of the very last place you will go into. I don't know what happens if you... Well, I don't want to ruin the story if you've never seen this game before. Let's just say that when I have died in this game, it has been early on, or when I was lost in the dungeon and wasn't able to figure out how to get out of it, ran out of healing herbs and died. That occurred for the first 2 dungeons in this game, especially when I was attempting to map out the places. Anyway, I'm doing a bit of babbling. So we reloaded the game only because I feel that it would be faster for us not to die, at least not so early on, without a significant more amount of money in the bank. We would have to repurchase the food that we lost. That's not so bad. That's $100. We'd have to repurchase the boat. That's about $400. That's all the money I made in the dungeon, effectively, spent to get us back to dungeon again. And I didn't really want to do that when I didn't really intend to go back into the dungeon a second time until we leveled up. What made that sound in my house? Tim says, looking around in his 100% lights are out dark house. 1 second. Okay. Oh, I don't see anything, so I will assume everything is good. All right, viewers, so what are we going to do? I came back out here again with the intention of going back in that dungeon to test if the things respawn, boxes and chests, and they do, and show you guys what the dungeon looked like. But I would rather not go down there again unless we actually have some healing herbs. So to that end, we're going to leave. Go back to Eagle Hollow, heal up, go back to the museum, and figure out what on earth we can do to level up, which we should automatically have done, thanks to us arriving here and getting that compass. A farmer! Yes, farmers look like they are wearing deep-sea diving suits. Hello, farmer. How are you? 37 days of food for 37 gold. Well, it's not a deal, but it also isn't it's not a good or bad deal. It's just straight up what we would pay. We don't have the gold for it, though, right? We only 15. So much for that. Is it just me or is it louder today? Oh. I increased the volume of my headset. That's why everything sounds like it's shrieking in my ears. Normally I wouldn't reload the game, effectively, like skipping the last save to avoid death. I would accept the death and move on. But in this instance, I was really surprised we made it out successfully. And I didn't want to lose that progress just to go back in there again and to show off what a dungeon is like, especially given how close it was for me getting out of that dungeon. I had fallen down to about 30-something hit points at 2 times trying to get to the dungeon and access healing boxes. It was very close. Yeah, too close. Even having more hit points isn't necessarily going to save us. We'd be healed more from the heal boxes, but we have to rely on them to get the healing done. Can I maybe disembark? You know what? Let's disembark. Let's disembark here. Leave our boat a little further away from Eagle Hollow, with the belief that we won't have to stop by there again. We don't have a club, and we're lucky still in the forests, and we don't want to fight Slashdills without one. Let's go east. Bandits! Or a bandit. And this one's hostile. Oh, that was something else that happened in the last episode. 2 things actually happened, now that I think about it. Oh! We can find topaz coins from creatures that we kill. Oh, that would be amazingly helpful. Mastodon Leaper, perfect. We have equipped our bladed staff, which is what this creature's weak to. Slash that all. Okay, this we'll skip. That's incredibly lucky. I'll take that as an omen that the game approves of me reloading it too. Sorry, I'm pausing trying to think if the 4 or 5 creatures I'm aware of who are weak to certain weapons are the only creatures weak to certain weapons, or if there are others that I've forgotten about. Maybe you viewers know. But to my knowledge, there aren't any others. Actually, I think the sea swallow might be weak against a club? I can't remember. So 2 other things occurred in the last episode. We got ambushed by a group of bandits who left us alive but took the compendium from us. We heard a voice in our heads saying that this was inevitable and that we should proceed onward anyway. The caretaker wants to see us. Sometimes I believe we are told of such from a merchant in the above world when we are ready to be leveled up. The same if we end up inside the museum at some point, it'll show us that message. So let's go see the caretaker. And you guys can't see, but I've been glancing over at my OBS every few seconds to make sure it's still recording. Figures that, of course, I would have a recording problem, and of course, it was an exceptional bit of video that transpired. Of course, I would lose it. Of course, I would. Sucks. You have done well since I last saw you. By my power as caretaker, your level is now 2. Okay, caretaker, anything else you want to talk to us about? No, not really. You gotta do more before I can help you again. You may use the museum exhibits or explore the lands outside. Well, we have another topaz coin. There are 2 other exhibits in which you can use the topaz coin to interact with them. One of them will allow us to use healing herbs. That could let us go into the dungeon a little more effectively, since we'll have the ability to heal ourselves if things go south. But the other exhibit, well, we'll go ahead and use the healing herb one. we'll go looking for the other exhibit later. And actually, I don't remember where the healing exhibit is in the dungeon. It's been a while since I've been here. So let's kind of go back to the area where the caretaker was, which is to the right here, and we'll go left this time. And I'll make the assumption it's down here somewhere. This feels like this is actually where we started the whole adventure from. It is. Okay, that's the welcome exhibit. Maybe it's out near where the tulip was located. Alright, let's pass by the caretaker. So I don't have a map of this museum. I never had found it difficult to navigate through in the past. Unlike some of the archives in the Black Silver game, where I couldn't figure out where some exhibits were in that one. This is the thing I was just talking about. Herb of Life. The Herb of Life. Let's use a Topaz coin. Planet natives believe in the curative power of a variety of healing herbs. However, the effectiveness of these plants have never been verified by museum personnel. This display contains a jute bush. According to lore, its fruit increases the power of other native herbs. While this claim is doubtful, the fruit is really quite tasty. You may sample one. Do you want to waste your museum coin, or do you want to actually put it to good use? We'll put it to good use. Yes. If you feel a tickling sensation. In this game, many of the answers or choices are pretty self-evident. This was not the case for Black Silver, which had several tricks if you just said yes to some things that were not so useful for you. I'll never forget the first time I got to the very end of the last dungeon and said yes to drinking something that smelled like almonds, only to realize it was poison, and I believe I died from that blue box in that game. So, okay, that was one of the 2 Topaz coins we were hoping to get. We do want to interact with another one of the exhibits that are in there, which require one. And then we can talk with the caretaker again, and we might be leveled up after doing so. Because our dexterity improved, that was the other thing I meant to talk about from the last episode, we can risk visiting creatures now, since they're likely to miss us, while we are unlikely to miss them. We will not eat the Practon Piercer's flesh. Now note that our hit points didn't go up. We still have 171 hit points. We weren't healed for leveling up, but we did gain more max hit points. You can't see what your new max is anywhere here, but I am pretty sure it's 300 is our new maximum. Only 100 gained. We do not gain any other stats from leveling up in this game. The amount of hit points you gain, I think, you know what? It might be 100 more than the prior level every single time you level up. Because at level 3, we'll have 500, which is 200 more. And I think at level 4, we have 800, which is 300 more than the last one. Slash it up. We don't have a club. Can we get it? Yes, we can. We're going north. Ooh, mountain beetle. A rock beetle. Let's fight it. Let's say yes to this. We are near Holy Point, so if we lose a lot of life from eating the rock beetle's flesh as food, we can heal ourselves there. Well, only 5 days of food, huh? The amount of food you get from creatures also depends on the creature that you decide to skin, or in this case, crack open to get to its insectoid innards. Well, we haven't gotten sick yet, so carrion mangler. I have to remember, I have to stop and think about what the name is for some of these things we've encountered before. Now, there is another thing about leveling up which is important. It advances the state of the world a bit. The main quest could begin to to advance itself. You'll see what that means as it begins to occur. We also will see that additional weaponry and armor is now available, and the costs of certain things will go up. Hello, healer. What's this wound care? Note the price of the healing herbs has gone up here. It's now 124 in Holy Point to purchase them. This is because I believe it's based around your max hit points, so every time you level, the cost of the herbs goes up. It's kind of why you want to max out on your healing herbs now, rather than wait until you, let's say you buy like 10 healing herbs, which is enough to go do a dungeon, and then you level up. And the next batch of healing herbs you want to buy, if you didn't max out, will now be more expensive. So you might want to purchase all your healing herbs right away, as quick as you can. Let's have our fortune read. The lender will give you money at good rates. I don't like this this fortune teller. They are just an advertisement for the various shops and what have you here in this town. I know better. I know better. All right, the cost of spells is this. Actually, I think the Seek spell is more expensive here than it had been in the past. Oh, we bought a single Seek spell also. Assuming it doesn't fizzle, that can bring us right back to the museum again. Our current task is now to get some money, buy some healing herbs, and potentially return to that dungeon. Though I think we can level up again if we view more museum exhibits. Armageddon armor, what do you have now? Superb studded hide, still not better than our fair ring mail. And for weapons, fair-leaded club. Let's sell one of these superb knives. We had purchased the extra one in case we fought a Knuckles in the dungeon, but we should hopefully have access to better weaponry when we return there. Let's buy some food, get a mail delivery, and then play some flip-flop. We'll buy 45 days of food. Yes. Langsberg, all right, no problem. There's a bank over in Langsberg, so we can visit that as well and potentially begin buying some healing herbs. I think Langsberg has the cheapest ones available. But first, I know how much you guys like watching it. Time for some flip-flop. We got to put down the joystick for this. All right, we don't need directions. We don't need practice. We'll bet 20 bucks twice. We'll start with white. 4. Oh, nope. Ooh, that was bad. Again. 2. Nope. It flipped just as I hit the button. Oh, man. Well, that's awkward. No, we're not betting again. You don't always win. Can't always win in gambling. Those establishments wouldn't exist. It'd be called free money. Fun and free money. How often did those things go hand in hand? We will fight the Windstalker. We could use some food. Oh, we don't get the option there. We mangled it too much. So what else can we talk about? I guess what we'll do is we'll visit some of the towns that we haven't seen before. Just to mix things up a bit. Realistically, we could go back and forth between Langsberg and Holy Point over and over again, or talk to the merchants over and over again in a single town, and see if we can get them to prompt to sell us a coin. Uh-oh. Hello, Hugin. How are you? Oh, this is a deal. 29 days of food for 24 gold? Yeah, we'll take that. Thank you, sir. Let's immediately go and turn this piece of mail in. Okay, so that's up this way. We want to do that before we talk to any other merchants, because if we're offered a coin, we don't have the money to afford it. $95. Okay. We didn't pick up any mail, so we could get some from him. He might have us deliver it to Holy Point again. But he could have it delivered to Merchant Square. So let's get it. We'll get 6 days of food. Oh! He's not... Oh! We turned in the mail to him. He's not going to offer you anything because you turned in the quest. You have to leave and come back. We'll get that 2 points healed. We do not have enough for the healing herbs. But was 126 here? I don't think that's actually cheaper than it was in Holy Point. I think Holy Point had it for 123. Armor? Fair ring mail, which we are wearing currently, so we don't need that. And for weapons, we get a better leaded club? No, just a shoddy one. I guess we don't need the bank. There's nothing else here for us, so we'll just leave. If you rob a store or you kill someone in the town, or you start a battle, a fight, the town becomes hostile to you, you are not allowed to simply leave. You actually have to walk out of the town. Pulp something. Pulp crawler? Pulp crawler. Looks like a giant tick to me. We have plenty of these things here in New Jersey. All New Jersey is a swamp, so this is actually accurate in regards to where I live. They're about the size, too, compared to a human. Or I swear they are. I was hoping we would fight a thrust creeper. Merchant Square. It is indeed called Merchant Square. Hopefully they'll give us some mail to deliver to Thornberry, which is close by. We can drop off the mail there, and then we'll head down to Grand Rapids, if I remember the name of the place, which is southwest of Thornberry. There's 2 other towns whose names like Cobbleston, I think is one. And another, which is a shore town. I don't remember the name of that one, though. Whips and chains. Weapons. What have you got? A good leaded club. We don't need that at the moment, though. We will consider buying it on our way out. So let's get 6 days of food. Yes. Back to Langsburg, then. So we'll drop off this mail at Langsburg, and then we'll skip Merchant Square and go straight to Thornberry next. No, we don't play blackjack. This is a bank? No, spell store. More expensive than the other places we've been at. Lacey's Leather. What do you got for armor? Good ring mail. 177. We can't afford it. We'll have a fortune red here, too. Healers can help you after you find the jute bush. Oh, okay. A hint as to what you're supposed to do. That you should probably accept the jute bush's help. And that's all there is in this place. Not very much, actually, is there? Alas for us, we don't have... There's no bank, so we can't get the armor I would like here. Let's just leave. No talking during the loading. All right, viewers, so what's going on? What else can we talk about here? What other games do I remember playing on the Commodore 64? I don't ever know. Slime weird. If I've talked about the games I used to play a long time ago for that system. Well, obviously, there was the Legend of Black Silver, which was made by the same developers that made this one. The Doughty twins? I forget, unfortunately, the name of the composer, but he also who wrote the music for this and that game. I believe he also helped code it, too, if I recall correctly. EA was the publisher of the games back then. Of these two. Adept. Adept 2 was the game I played. It's a... Oh, man, no. To phrase it as like a battle chess is incorrect, but it's the closest thing I could think of to describe the idea behind the game. You have different pieces in that game, and you win with completely different rules. It's not like chess in any way. And when you fight for a spot, an actual fight occurs between you and between the two opponents, and it's not a guaranteed victory. In the battle chesses, whoever initiated the combat would always be the winner. That's not the case for this game. You could take your turn, start a battle, and lose. And there were all these different units depending upon if you were on the side of order or chaos in that game. It was a pretty fun game, actually. I've meant to record it once or twice just to say, hey, this was another game I played a long time ago. But never made it to my channel. I want to hold on to this money, because if we're offered a coin, we want to be able to purchase it. Nice. 125 bucks. Let's take 25 days of food? Hey! Hey! Alright! Topaz coin. We will go right back to the museum and spend that. First, let's buy a single healing herb while we're here. With that single herb and our increased hit points, I would feel significantly more safe going back to the Pirate Slayer again and exploring what I had done in the off-screen in the prior video. But, well, we're not. This coin has a much better exhibit waiting for its deposit. Then we will talk with the caretaker. He might level us, which is going to be a little awkward because it makes everything more expensive. But it would also potentially give us access to better equipment. So we'll do it. So other games, let's think here. And on my channel, you've seen The Warrior of Ras 3, The Wild. I love that game. An age ago. There was a game as well that I used to play like a roguelike. So if I died, I'd have to start all over again. What other games have you seen me play on the channel? So I think I recorded a group of games for the Commodore some time ago. I believe it was Aztec Challenge? You died a whole lot in that one. I did not die nearly as much as I expected to in that one. It was an obstacle course of sorts. You played a slave, I believe, trying to get your freedom I'm assuming it was Egypt, because you ran to a giant pyramid and you started in the desert. And the people who threw spears at you, I believe, were wearing some a headdress, which is similar, which is what I would have expected a developer of such a game to have done for like the guards or other natives in that area. Then you had to climb the pyramid staircase, which would be sending boulders down at you. Then you had to navigate through the actual temple, which had various pit traps, arrows, and boulders. Then it was the heart of the temple. Then it was a series of pressure plates you had to navigate correctly. Good luck doing that in one go. Without failing and dying horribly as poison darts smacked you in the temple and your hip, if I remember correctly. A bandit. You're one bandit. You want to talk with me? No. And then, what else was there? Then it was escaping. So then it was you swam through not a river. I'll call it a pond, but I'm pretty sure a lake would be more descriptive of the size of it. Filled with piranha. And finally, you had to run over a bridge which had gapes in it. And you had to gauge the height and length to do the jumps while running across it. We actually beat it on screen, if I recall correctly. I'm surprised I managed to do it. That was a really tough game way back when. We played BC's Quest for Tires. Another obstacle course-like game, if I remember correctly. 1 second. Oh God, what just happened there? Oh, okay, it minimized the thing. Let's see. So attach my save disk. I did copy off the save disk at the end of part 2. So if something goes wrong, I will be able to at least put back that disk and reshoot this episode. Something I'll have to do from now on if ever the game decides to stop recording. And it just occurs to me, I need to get up the code wheel because we're going back into the museum. Okay, Bantros, where on earth are you on this thing? There you are. And now I need to find a ruby on the inner part of the wheel. There it is. Okay, so if we do this, it's ring 8, 6217. There was another game I played in that combo of 3 games, but I can't remember what the third one was. I have recorded another combo of games. I just had to add voice to it. It was Action Biker, a game I never was able to complete thanks to you having to pick up items on those really narrow, elevated... I don't know what to call them. Boards? It's a game where you drive around a bike. It's an open world-ish... Open world is a really wrong way to describe it. An open park that loops on itself. If you go in a certain direction, you will loop back around to the other side of the park automatically without you leaving it or something. It's like magic. You have to manage your fuel and your time limit. You have to collect these items, which show... Only one shows up at a time in the game. You have to figure out where it's located and get it. If you hit an object, so you stop moving, stop moving is the wrong thing. You can actually stop moving. But if you collide with something, you lose a life. You only have a certain amount of them, if I recall correctly. I was never able to complete that game when I was young. Because it was too hard. I made an attempt on screen, and I don't want to ruin it because I'm intending to upload that combo of games in the future. I played Boulder Dash for the Commodore. That was a fun one. That was a puzzle-y game, if I recall correctly. It's been 2 or 3 years since I recorded the combo games that I mean to add voice to. And Puyan is the other one I have ready to be not ready to be uploaded, but to add voice to it. You play a chick, I think, and you're on some sort of like elevator that is can be raised or lowered by other chicks activating a pulley system, and there's a group of foxes that are trying to raid your home. And you have to shoot them down to prevent them from accessing it by shooting the balloons that they use to help themselves glide either up or down, depending upon the stage that you're doing. Interesting game. Interesting game. Native Currency. The exhibit that is visited the most often in the museum once you realize it exists. Let's take a look at this. You haven't used this exhibit. Is it your topaz coin? Delicious. Different planets have different treasures. On Tarmalon, as on many planets, the scarcity of gold makes it exceedingly valuable. Here, you see the museum currency room. It contains a small, but noteworthy, portion of the planet's wealth. You are welcome to a sample. You get a random amount of money from this. I've gotten, I believe, as little as like 700, but as most as close to 3,000. So we rolled on the lower end of the scale. Still, a free 1,161 bucks will go a long way. Let's now talk with the caretaker and see if we've managed to level up again. We viewed all the topaz exhibits, and we viewed all the jade exhibits. We might not have, and not every single time when you level will you get a message telling us that the caretaker wants to see us. So he might not want to level us, but we'll still check. I can't believe how fast we got 2 more topaz coins. That's amazing. Hello, caretaker. You have done well since I last saw you. By my power as caretaker. Our level is now 3. Okay, I was right. And Tim, you better make sure you're still recording the game. Yes, we are. All right, good. Perhaps you are now strong enough to help me. Long ago, 2 priceless specimens were stolen from the museum. The jeweled crown and scepter of Mancella. Although museum policy will not let me recover them, perhaps you would like to try. I don't know where the crown and scepter are, but I have a key which should help you. Naturally, there's a reward. Yes, of course we accept the caretaker's offer. So way back when, you were allowed to say no to things, or do things which would result in you being unable to progress the game any further. Many games these days don't let you do that. Now you gotta follow the main quest. Well, I guess that's not necessarily true. Depends upon the game. You could just do whatever you wanted in the game and just ignore the main quest, but it wouldn't advance itself any further. This is one of those. We could reject the caretaker's offer, but I don't see why we would do that. Thank you, and good luck. Here is the key. If you find the scepter and crown, please bring them back to this exhibit. Okay, so we've unlocked even more equipment. We haven't even seen anything really new happen yet, and our hit points have increased again. We're slowly been holding on to our gold armband since we left this place the last time. So we're going to head right back up the Holy Point. Actually, we have mail to Langsburg, right? No, we were at Langsburg when we got offered the other coins. So let's go back up to Holy Point. Let's hold our climbing gear. Unfortunately, we only bought 1 healing herb for the cheap price of 126 bucks or so. Now they're going to be closer to 200. What? That bandit chased us. We will fight all the things. But I'm not desperate enough to eat Stinging Rakesh's flesh for food. Stalkers and Scorpods seem to be safe. Or safe-ish. Shadow Wisp. These can be friendly. Not this one. That creature always looked like an inchworm to me. Okay. Hello. Oh, let's fight whatever this is. Kraken Piercer. This looks like some sort of... I can see the face. I always got the impression it's wearing some sort of, like, giant... It's not a hood. I don't know what it's called. A raised collar? Behind it. Kind of like a vampire would be wearing. Is how I interpret the image there. Now, there are a few more things we want to do before we go back to the dungeon. We want to improve our intelligence score. I want to be able to cast spells. We'll want some spells, and we'll want more healing herbs than just 1. I was talking about, saving money, or trying to buy as many healing herbs as possible before we level up, and of course, we don't do that. Yeah, 188 now. Wonder how all the healers know that we're higher level. Anyway, we're going to want at least, I would say, 10 healing herbs before we go down into the dungeon. We're going to want some spells as well to help us down there. But to cast a spell successfully means that we want some intelligence. All this is going to cost us money. All of it. We also want better armor and weaponry. We'll start with the weapons and armor, since those we can just potentially get without any additional work. Saintly swords. A superb leaded club. We definitely want that. Nothing else, so let's slaughter slash nettles. It's another weapon we can fall back to if we lose our staff while inside the pirate's lair. And for armor? Superb ringmail. Let's get some of that too. We can sell our fair ringmail now. We could buy another set of that, but I'll take a risk that we'll find either better armor than that, or we'll be able to buy the same ringmail when we revisit Eagle's Hollow in the future. Let's get some more food. Oh, wrong thing, Tim. You want to speak? So we'll buy 46 days. Yes, whatever, some gold. Back to Langsburg we go. I believe Langsburg is I think it's the only place you will be delivering mail to if you do it from Holy Point. So we'll take the opportunity to buy some healing herbs while we're there. And of course we play some flip-flop. If the play says flip-flop, we'll play 2 games on screen. Chance to win back the money we lost earlier. We don't need directions. We don't need practice. We'll bet 25 gold this time on red. 5. Nope. Gonna be... yeah, we'll be 5. Nice. That was a lot of money. I'm a little nervous that we'll have to fight our way out of Holy Point. Hopefully that won't be the case. We're going to do it again. This will be 6. Oh, man. 2. Oh! Darn you guys. No. Only 2. We're done. It's tempted to do another one since we won so big. But no. No. We'll take our winnings and go. That and this becomes suddenly Tim's playing flip-flop endlessly the episode, so we don't want to do that. Well, I do, but we're not going to. So from now on, most Topaz coins we get are going to go to native currency. A Venom Floater. Haven't seen one of these yet. I mean, there's no poison in the game to my recollection. Nothing that we'll be afflicted with by fighting a creature. I want to say that in Black Silver, your weapons could break from any combat that wasn't taking place inside like a town like structure where you were location where you were fighting guards. But otherwise, in the above world, your weapons could break. I think your armor could, too, if I recall correctly. There were more spells in Black Silver. You could actually... There was, Glow Tip? Was a spell you could cast to enchant your weapon to do a little more damage with it. Expensive, but worth it. There was more things to level in that game, with the silver coins to improve your magic capabilities there. And you still increase your intelligence by playing a game... Oh, hello, a slash metal. Perfect. We have a club for you. Back to our staff. All right, 22 more days of food, Tim. Let's get that total to 200. And we'll buy some more healing herbs while we're here. Oh, what the heck? For half a second, I thought everyone was a slash nettle. Did you guys see that? I'm probably just imagining things. Okay, so let's head over here. 25 bucks. We'll buy 22 more days of food. We should check the weapon and armor stores. Always check them. Especially when you just level up. A fair bladed staff. We have a great one. I would like it to be at least good if I want to purchase another staff. And for armor? Fair ringmail. Not better than our superb ringmail. There's nothing out in this direction, right? There is not, just a fence. Okay. Let's get some healing herbs. Okay, so let's buy... It's going to be really expensive, but I'll buy 4 of them. How many do we now have? Oh, we can't see it here. Okay, you can see it from here. 5 healing herbs. We want at least 10 before we go to the dungeon. Once again, they're going to heal us 250 hit points each. Which, based upon what we saw, isn't that much in the grand scheme of things. A single battle against like 3 creatures could reduce us by 200 hit points. Especially as we go lower into the dungeon. Every level, the creatures get a little stronger. They take more hits and they do more damage, if I recall correctly. I've never had snake steaks. I wonder if they're any good. Alright, then what other games have you played on the Commodore? Oh man, the Heist was one. It was I call it a platformer, but that's probably not doing it justice. But you did have to jump over a whole lot of things. And also it was a timing game. You had to avoid lasers or the like as well while you robbed the place of all the treasures. When you got the last of the things that were worth any money, the game ended and you got rewarded for the amount of time you had left. We'll go here and get a package and see where they want it delivered. If it's back to Langsburg or Holy Point, though, we're not going to do that. We're going to go to Thornberry instead. There was... Rock and Wrestling? There were 2 wrestling games I played on the Commodore. And I could hum some tunes to them from the wrestlers, their theme songs. For, was it Wrestling USA? One was Wrestling USA, and the other was Rock and Wrestling. Pretty sure that was their names. We never got past the Rock and Wrestling second character. First character was like this guy wearing a one-piece gray suit or brown suit with like a wizard hat on his head. I remember him. And the second guy was a bald guy in a black one-piece leotard or something of the sort. And we could never get past that guy because we didn't know how to kick out when he pinned us. A long time ago. Ah, good times. Good times. Alright, no better weapons at the weapons store here. We'll buy 9 days of food. Yeah, we'll earn some coin. Thompson Crossing. We can go back to Thompson Crossing, I guess. No blackjack. Magic spells. Ooh, look how expensive the Seek spell is becoming. Getting more expensive every time we visit this place. It goes up as you can see as your levels increase. This is leather. Superb ringmail. That's the same price as the last superb ringmail. Yes! Woo! Another topaz coin. There's no reason why we shouldn't spend this immediately. I guess we will hold on to it at the moment. We'll end the episode going back to the museum and getting more treasure. We want spells as well. That's going to be very expensive. Now, with these hit points and a few healing herbs, we could probably raid a town for the vault in it, assuming it possesses one. We could also make off with extra weapons and armor. I haven't done that in any of my other Let's Plays for Legacy of the Ancients, because I feel, and I think Black Silver too, I feel a little guilty these days. There's no reason to. Hey, please stop fighting. Alright, whatever, we'll kill you then. I feel guilty as the hero of the world, killing people for their money. Especially when there's other places that we'll have to do that at. Oh! That makes more sense. Viewer is our first group battle. In a way. This is an above-world fight. We're fighting 2 carrion manglers now. The battles continue until all the enemies are defeated. We'll get more money, however, for killing more enemies, and you get more food if you decide to break down their bodies for such. This tip is leading you to Mazleton, which is not the right place. Hello, Shadow Wisp. Are you friendly today? Well, Mazleton has a healer. So I guess we'll visit it. Do you want to use a slime weird's flesh for food? That just sounds like you're gonna probably get sick to me. Or some other games we played. Spy vs. Spy? Spy vs. Spy. That was a Commodore game. My goodness, so many hours playing that against my brothers. What good fun that was. In that game, it was you either fought the computer or you fought a human opponent, and your objective was to find the 4 items hidden in the level. They were hidden inside various objects, like a desk or in a chair or something of the sort. And you had to have a briefcase to carry them in. More than one of them, at least. And you were able to set traps all over the place. And within the levels, there were ways to disarm the traps. So it encouraged you to look at what your opponent was doing at all times. All this took place on the same screen, so you really couldn't help but stare at what each other was doing. We'll buy 15 days of food while we're here. You could also fight each other directly. You would take out these clubs, batons, nightsticks, and you could beat the ever-living crap out of each other with them. Oh, it was glorious. It was glorious. The computer always cheated in a way because it always knew what traps you had placed on objects. If it was playing on I think a higher intelligence than or difficulty setting than the basic beginner setting. Yeah, my goodness. I remember the theme song to that one, and I will not hum it to you guys. I have a few remixes of that, actually, on my computer. Impossible Mission was another Commodore game I had played when I was really young. Oh, the healing herbs are cheaper by $40 here. The spells are cheaper here. Okay, we will come to Mazleton, because we could have afforded another entire singular healing herb had we come here to purchase them from. Sure, we'll get a fortune red. Carry gold. Merchants might sell you museum. Yep, this is a great point. They might sell you museum coins. What were some other games? High Noon? High Noon! Yeah, High Noon. Cowboy game. Got tougher as it went on because you would fight new enemies. Your objective, you were the sheriff of a town. And this town had the most unsavory ruffians and or lowlives imaginable. They would walk into the saloon and walk out with a lady over their shoulder. They'd hit the bank and rob it. They'd run through the center of town shooting stuff on their horses or throwing dynamite. What good fun. And you had to shoot all of them. Shoot everyone who was an enemy cowboy. Don't shoot the friendlies, only the bad guys. And the bad guys were all wearing, I think, black hats, if I recall correctly. Here is a good bladed staff. I will hope we can find a great one somewhere. We'll hope we find a great one somewhere. We will be out in the world probably for at least one more episode, viewer, before we're done preparing for our dungeon expedition. If the dungeon is even where we want to go, we may go to the other location first. But hold on. First off, we're done here? We're done here. Let's leave. We'll go to Thompson Crossing, drop off the delivery, and then I guess we will go back to the museum and spend that Topaz coin. We'll probably wrap it up because I've been playing for close to an hour at that point. Oop, hello. Other games, Tim? Cubert. Everyone, I think knows what Cubert was, so I don't probably have to describe that one. Zaxxon? That was a side-scroller shoot 'em up, but it was three-dimensional because you flew through these like I don't know. It wasn't like they weren't houses, but they were structures, and you had to be on the appropriate level to fly through holes in the walls coming up ahead. Oh, Radom Bungling Bay. Oh my goodness, what a great game that was. You were a helicopter. You were raiding the Bungling Bay, don't know, you made a place. And your objective was to destroy the, Shoddy Lighted Club. Destroy the war factories that were there. Every time you destroyed one, it got a little tougher. There were more enemies. The enemies got upgraded weaponry. You would end up fighting fighter jets. And eventually the enemies would have... so there was a bunch of various things that would try to stop you. There were tanks on the ground. There were anti-aircraft guns. And at all times, this enemy group would be assembling the battleship. You yourself had showed up there with a aircraft carrier where you could dock in order to resupply your ammo and maybe get repaired there. Could also land on enemy aircraft fields to do the same, if I recall correctly. I think you had a limited number of bombs. If we had to go back and reload. If the enemy would be constructing a battleship, and if it launched, it could destroy your aircraft carrier, which meant that you couldn't land there anymore. And of course, it'd be after you as well. The enemy jets would occasionally find your aircraft carrier and attack it also. You get a warning that such is under attack, and you would definitely want to save it if you want a safe place or safer place to land. Every time you destroyed a factory, once again, things got upgraded. So, this is a bank. I don't need to be at the bank. In particular, like the rockets, they would eventually start firing were heat-seeking and would chase you quite some distance to get you, curving in flight to hit you. My goodness, it was terrifying. And the battleship, its creation, would continuously get faster and faster every single factory that you would destroy. It was a great game. Never beat it when I was young, but I have fond memories of how difficult it was and enjoying it. We don't want any money from the Lending Association. Let's buy some more food while we're here. We'll take 45 days. That's the school. We don't need that anymore. Hit me, hurt me weapons. We'll sell that shoddy club. We don't need it. And what can we buy from you? A good bladed staff. No. We're venturing around. Yes! Our first amethyst coin. Oh, the choices for this. There are 2 amethyst coin required exhibits. The Stones of Wisdom and the Tapestry. I think you get another level. Or those give you some leveling points if you view both of them. It'd be easy to suspend that coin in the Tapestry without feeling the need to actually play the Stones of Wisdom game. So we will probably do that. Yeah, we should do that. But really quick, we're going to play some flip-flop. Two games with 25 bucks. Let's see how we do. Don't need directions. Don't need practice. 25. Better than white. 6. Yes! And one more time. We'll say yes to this as well. This will be 3. You guys as fast as I am when it comes to guessing the... Oh! They flipped it as we hit it! Those cheaters! But we're quitting. Only 2. Only 2. We were literal fractions of a second from getting that 3 spot and earning even more money. The faster you do it, the better. It means that it's likely to be correct. You don't have to examine where the thing's going to end up. The ball's going to end up. And of course, I think you get like 6 or 8 beeps, and then it drops the ball automatically for you. Okay, so let's try. Maybe we could walk all the way there. We'll walk there. It'll give us an excuse to earn a little more gold and what have you on the trip. Talk about more video games as we adventure there as well. All right, so Impossible Mission is another Commodore 64 game I played. That one was another type of weird platformer. It was half platformer. You'd enter. There were these elevators in several areas of the map, and obviously they took you up and down, and they were linked together by rooms. The rooms would go horizontally, the elevators vertically, and you had to search all the objects in these rooms for what turns out to be puzzle pieces. I could never figure out what on earth these things were. And anyway, these it was difficult to do because of the pits you could fall in if you didn't do the jumps correctly. And there were these robots there. Some robots would see you and go after you, and others were on a pattern. 2 pulp crawlers. Let's kill these things. That game had some voice at the very beginning, right? It was stay a while, stay forever. Well, it turns out that the things you were looking for... Oh, there were several things you could get. That's right. There were these consumables you could use that would, I think, deactivate the robots for a time, allowing you some safety in searching what they were guarding. Oh, and some robots could shoot this short-range electrical beam. So you couldn't let that hit you either, or you died. Everything killed you, so you had to be kind of really careful. The things you could find, though, for the most part, you were looking for these puzzle pieces. And there were these run rooms that had this giant computer-looking interface, like a giant monitor-looking thing, and a keyboard at the center. And your character would have to get up to the keyboard, and then you would be able to access these puzzle pieces you had. To this day, I'm still not exactly sure how it was supposed to look when you assembled it. And you had to, not only did these pieces have to be facing the right way, they had to be the correct color. Yeah, I got nothing. But that was the second half of the game. First part of it was finding the pieces. Second part was actually putting together the puzzle. It was like a jigsaw type of thing, if I recall correctly. All right, hold on. Let's save the game. I'm still recording. Gremlins. There's another game. The one I played was one where you had a sword. So first off, viewer, I've never watched the Gremlins, any of the Gremlins movies. I think the first one was supposed to be like a horror type of movie. The other ones, I think, were... If they weren't horror, I don't think they were. I think they were supposed to be comedies of some sort. I never watched them. They came out when I was really young, and my parents would never allow us... would not let us watch something like that in the house. Let us say. That was, at least not at that age. That was not going to be allowed. And then later on, we just were too old for it at that point. All right, hold on. We need to solve this puzzle. So this is Frandor and Topaz. So where's my Topaz? Okay, so... And then it is ring 4. So that 499 509? No. 49950. If you entered the wrong code, I believe 3 times, the game locks and will not let you go any further. Okay, so let's spend these 2 coins that we have. Since we're going down this path, back towards native currency, oh, we'll spend it there. If we get over 1,500 gold, maybe we should actually spend the money on playing Stones of Wisdom, which I can do 1 or 2 games on screen and then do the rest off screen. It costs money every time that you play Stones of Wisdom. And like the other games that we've played, your statistic, your intelligence score, can go up or down depending upon how well you do or don't do. Like the other games, you want to at least get to a certain point in order to begin getting your intelligence score upped. Or it goes down below 15, I think. You need to beat the first, I think, 1 or 2 opponents before you start earning intelligence. And like those other games, when you played additional time, you'll be starting from more or less where you left off, if I recall correctly. It actually... now, here's something you don't see every day, which is so weird, because this game did almost everything correctly. Wish more games did what this game does. It's asking us, hey, you really want to reread the exhibit again, or do you just want the money? We just want the money. 2,500 gold. I think that's pretty close to the max, if not the max we could have gotten. Holy crap. I think it's time we play some Stones of... Oh, it's 9:20, though. It's 9:20 p.m. for me here. I've been playing for an hour, and I really should stop. Because once I start playing Stones of Wisdom, I'll be playing that for a while. And I have to work tomorrow. Today is Sunday, June 9th, 2024. I'm recording this bit. So, yeah, we'll stop here. Let's hold our gold armband. Use it. Leave the museum. Save the game again. But I'll do that off screen, and we're going to stop at this point. So viewers, thank you guys for watching again. In this episode, we've gotten rich. And we'll go ahead and spend that money on more healing herbs and begin buying spells. And I will see you guys in the next one. Take care, everyone. And thanks again for watching.